Golf, as the old saying goes, is a good walk spoiled. The new Golf GTI is a very good car, and yet by letting the interior design team go on a boozy night out with some horrendous tech marketing hoorahs about 18 months ago, VW has come frightfully close to ruining it inside. Yeah, you get tartan. As standard, the GTI Mark 8's bolstered seats are attractive in the traditional plaid of house GTI, but albeit a fairly monochrome one. But the comfy one-piece chairs are more supportive than before, and yes, in the manual there's a dimpled golf ball gear knob. Those kitsch throwback touches are welcome in the Mark 8 because this interior is that rarest of all qualities for a Golf. A pain in the arse. VW is heavily pushing it as all digital. GTIs that are UK bound house a pair of digital instrument displays. One is behind the steering wheel and a main 10-inch infotainment touchscreen on top of the air vents, which has the nav, smartphone interactivity and more menus than your kitchen drawer. Heated seats, aircon power, they're all on the screen too. So, why has VW gone to all the trouble of making the new GTI slide more in ESC Sport mode and yet braid that on menu 6 in the f***ing monitor? It's a good job the ride is so composed. The new steering wheel feels purposeful in your grasp, though you might grumble about the sculpted thumb hooks being a tad thick. There's also 19 buttons which are glossy plastic with touch-sensitive feedback. They're fucking dreadful. Setting the cruise control or cycling through radio stations has now become a chore. So please VW, please put some proper buttons back in the GTI. It's ironic that the interior is so try-hard because the Mark 8 GTI's mechanical engineering is last night's takeaway for tomorrow's dinner. You see, the latest Golf Mark 8 is based on the same MQB chassis foundations as the Mark 7. This new GTI uses an evolution of the same E888 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo engine. It has sprouted higher pressure fuel injectors but still chucks out 242 brake horsepower. It's still front-wheel drive and there's still a standard 6-speed manual gearbox or an optional 7-speed paddle shift DSG. But it's hardly Christmas, is it? What is new is the GTI's image. Doesn't look like the politely spoken, well-turned-out older brother anymore though, does it? The honeycomb grille is wider and features dubious LED running lights set into the plastic pattern. There's even an LED strip light that illuminates across the whole nose. Fussy rims too. And out back the twin tailpipes have been pushed further apart for a more planted stance, and the GTI badges are bigger. All of a sudden, a Focus ST or BMW M135i is a more subtle choice. The new GTI tries to justify all that swagger with brains. VW's been working on a new computer which, of course, has a serious German name, VDM, or Vehicle Dynamics Manager. Basically, the GTI houses a sort of AI network that'll monitor engine revs, how much traction the tyres have, your steering wheel angle, what gear you're in, the electronic front differential, and if you've ticked the box, the optional adaptive suspension. All at the same time. The result is easily the most capable GTI we've ever had, but it feels cheekier, not computer controlled. Because there's now a standard front diff and a sliding scale of suspension stiffness, the engineers have toughened up the rear suspension and worked to eradicate understeer. The steering feels faster, but that's a carryover too. This time, when you aim the GTI into a bend, the nose just bites harder. It's more accurate and poised, but because it's more trustworthy, it's also more agile and game to mess about when provoked. Clever trick that is. Is 242 brake horsepower enough though? Sure, if you're happy with a quick car and not a face rippler. It's nice to be able to drive a modern fast car and be able to use full throttle for more than 0.5 seconds without starring in your local police force's Twitter feed as well. Mostly, you'll surf the torque, which is a chunky 273 pounds-feet. That's on tap from 1,600 revs right up to 4,300 RPM. There's a second of turbo lag in every gear, but then the GTI just hauls without wheel spin. One of the good GTIs then. To drive, it is definitely, but rivals won't expect it to hang on in their mirrors this tenaciously, but they won't have expected to outgolf it for interior common sense either. So, let's get down to the numbers. The car we have here is a 2-litre 4-cylinder engine, and it has 242 brake horsepower. The gearbox is a 6-speed auto. It does 0 to 62 in 6.7 seconds and it does 35 miles per gallon. Now the most important one, it should be priced around about an estimated £34,000 to buy this car, which is pretty much standard for any of the new Golf GTIs.